Welcome back. Archival.Sessions, the first one of 2026. Um, so the Chronology of Water, written and directed by Kristen Stewart, based on the memoir by Lydia. I have her name, Lydia Yukinovich. And this one was, well, I just want to start off with plain and simple. Believe survivors. It's a very simple idea. Believe survivors. Um, People who go through verbal, physical, and sexual abuse. It's a life that, especially at the hands of your own father, no one should go through. But we know it happens. And this movie doesn't pull punches. This movie's very serious, and the movie takes itself very seriously because this is a very serious matter. And I commend Kristen Stewart for fully having this vision brought to the big screen. This is a hard story. This is truly a hard story, but the actors, the cinematography, the sound, the direction of this film is done in a way that, especially these type of stories, I think we're talking about a daughter that has been, abused throughout her life. I think a woman can only tell this story. And it seems like Kristen Stewart, understood what this assignment was. This assignment wasn't. It makes me think of Christie, that movie, where it's a very serious subject matter, but the movie's not taken seriously, right? While this movie, the entire runtime is just slapping you across the face and making you witness this. Yeah, there was a lot of things in here that, and it should make you uncomfortable. This subject matter. I don't think you should watch this and be like, "Oh, this is." Some people try to be like, "This is exploitative." I didn't feel that. I just felt like this is something someone went through, and they have the bravery to tell that story, because it's not easy to tell, like, hey, my own father, the person that, is supposed to raise and protect me, is the one that is causing the harm. How do you tell that story? How do you tell that? And this movie, it didn't hold back. As I was saying, this is one of those movies where it's not that you come to enjoy it or come to be entertained, but you come in, you just bear witness to the seriousness of the matter. And that's what this movie did. And I have to say, our lead actress with Imogen Poots, wow, like earth-shattering performance. She didn't hold back. She did not hold back at all either. And I wonder, the relationship between her and Kristen Stewart. Like, this is a tough movie to make. That's what I'm saying. Like, this movie's not. They ain't come here to like have fun. They came here to tell someone's story of true, just like heartbreaking pain and suffering, and what that looks like to be at the hands of your father. Like, yeah. And even in the movie theater I went to go see it at, first, an old couple, they walked out. Uh, there's even a scene where, Lydia Imogen Poots is reading an excerpt from her book, and someone's like, "Oh, I can't take it," and it's like, this shit happens to people. And how do we as a community, support one another? That's why I'm like, believe survivors. It's very simple. There's people who are surviving real emotional, physical, sexual, mental scars that are done by people that were supposed to protect them. It's not always that it's someone random or there's like an evil boogeyman. Sometimes it's your father. It's a partner. It's a teacher. Like what, what it is. And there's an interesting line. John Belushi plays the author who wrote The One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and he says, if I rewrote the commandments, the first one would just be have mercy. And yeah, I started with that, like have mercy on people. Also, I swam in high school competitively, and this movie recontextualized swimming for me because for me, there were times when you're in that water, you can't hear anything. Um, you can't listen to any music. You're just swimming, and all you hear is your thoughts. I mean, the water's whooshing around, but really you hear your thoughts. And this movie, especially the scenes where she wrote, and it's like this really great imagery of the note like floating away at the water. Yeah, this movie was really tough, but that's why I want to say, like, when you make a serious subject matter, you can't half-ass it. You can't be mid. And sometimes, especially with something like this, this is a biopic. This is based on someone's life. You shouldn't you shouldn't you know it's not just like you're hitting the beats of, oh, this happened in their life, but we felt it. We felt what happened in her life, what happened in Lydia's life. The whole time you are feeling everything. And that says to the filmmaker's ability. That's what I'm saying. Kristen Stewart, she has a voice. And this movie takes it very seriously. It makes me think of Fruitville Station by Ryan Coogler. Like, it's not a movie you go to like, but it's a movie you go to experience and you feel the pain. And that's what this movie did. And I felt it the whole way. I know some people walk out, some people will not. It's too intense, but it's just real life, and that's what art can do. It's as I said, I don't get how people can be so unempathetic to survivors, right? Especially when they come forward and get to tell their stories. There's people that just be like they're lying or just don't want to listen, and I'm like, I don't see how you can say that. If someone experienced this, I wouldn't. The first thing out of my mouth wouldn't be you're lying. I never understood that. But this movie was I just haven't said it's not about being good or bad, but it was so well made and having a serious subject matter, and it did well in that. There's some really in its use of sound in the movie. Like, you don't have to show the sexual abuse or the physical abuse that Lydia was going through, but the sound of it made you just it's disturbing. And this happening to people throughout the world, that's disturbing. So now my thing is like, how do we create a safe environment for people who experience this, and for people that are experiencing this currently? That's why it's like, have mercy. You don't got to be hard on people, or just first thought is they're lying. No, man. Yeah, but yeah, this was tough, and I'm glad. I was telling my fiance that I do get uncomfortable when the subject matter is about a man sexually abusing a woman. I don't think a man should direct that. I don't think how this was done, you feel every bit. And it's not like they have to reenact it. I was saying the use of sound. That's what made it like, you understand what happened, and you feel the weight of the situation. So yeah, the Chronology of Water is my first, and I said to myself, when it's a movie that deserves more thoughts, deserve more time. That's something this movie's making me sit with, the uncomfortable truth of what abuse looks like. and what abuse does to someone. But the fact that she's still able to tell her story and just here today, it's a testament to her, a true testament to her. Yeah, this was a tough one, y'all, but have mercy on one another and let's build a better community, because this shouldn't happen to anyone, and for those this happened to, we have to find a way to be supportive and be empathetic towards one another, because this stuff is no joke. It's not good. Kristen Stewart, wow, she's a good director. That's what I'm saying. Like, you took a very serious subject matter and you didn't play with it. You took your time, told the story, and you feel it the whole way through. This movie demands an emotional response, and I appreciate that. Yeah. So, Chronology of Water, if you saw it, let me know what you thought. And the performance of Imogen Poots, amazing. Kristen Stewart as a director, I'm very, very amazed. But also, it got also a visceral reaction out of me. So yeah, that's it. Thanks. The next movies, I don't know, but and this is I'm watching this movie. I have to go to a surprise party now, and I'm kind of just like in a daze. Like, I'm not thinking about that, but I'm gonna try to go to this party. But let me know what you thought of the Chronology of Water. See you guys next time.